Okay, thanks, Steve. Okay, so we are recording now. So welcome everyone. Um, we're going to start with introducing ourselves. My name is Haley Hardenbrook. I'm the Assistant Director here in the Office of International Admissions at Old Dominion University, and I'll let my the others share themselves in the order that they appear on the slide here.
Hello everyone, I'm Roshni Gannoju and I'm from India and I graduated in December 2025 and I was pursuing my master's in computer science.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Mahfouda Sindawani. I graduated from UDU December 2024 from the graduate program in International Studies. I am from Mauritania. I currently work with the ODU Visa Office as an International Service Coordinator, and yeah, I'm excited for this. Excited to meet you all.
Hi everyone, I'm Madeline. I'm from Canada and I actually just graduated this past weekend with my bachelor in biomedical sciences pre-health. And I also work at the Virginia Health Sciences School as a community engaged learning intern.
Steve, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Steve Risch. I'm the Director of International Admissions here at ODU. We are excited for this series of pre-arrival webinars for our international students. We are getting ready to welcome you in August. And I just want to give a shout out to Haley and all of the presenters here for providing the session today. So unfortunately, I have to go to another meeting here shortly, but I'm going to stay on for as long as I can. But yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks, Steve. And so now for the incoming students who are here today, if you'd like to introduce yourself in the chat, say where you're joining us from, maybe what program you're coming to study. You can start, meeting one another in the chat there. So that is for you to make use of. In the past, some students have started a WhatsApp group and shared the link for other students to join. So feel free to do that as well. If you have a questions for us, please put it in the Q&A. You'll see a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. We will be tracking questions there and responding to those, either typing a response to you or we'll answer some questions live as well. So you have a great team here to help you with anything that you need. All the students have had work experience at ODU. Madeline is on a sports team, athletic team. So you have lots of experience here to make use of today. So again, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat and use that throughout the presentation. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. So today is the first webinar of our Crown Countdown series on life in Norfolk. We are calling this the Crown Countdown because we are the monarchs, and so our mascot is a lion and he wears a crown like king and queen monarchs. And so you'll see a lot of references to crowns or crown imagery around campus. So that's why we're calling it the Crown Countdown. We're getting you ready for your arrival to campus and to the United States. And so we are doing this series throughout the rest of the summer. The next one is going to be on the visa process. We wanted to do this one for you early because we know a lot of you have questions and want to get started on that process as soon as possible. The one in June, early June, will be on housing, how to find on-campus housing or off-campus housing. And we'll have representatives from both offices here with us on the call. Then we'll be doing one on employment, how to find employment on campus, and support for finding employment off campus, if that's what you'd like to do. And we'll have someone from the Career Development Center here to help us with that. And then we'll talk about travel and the port of entry to get you prepared to come to the United States. And finally, we'll do one on campus essentials. You're going to meet other campus offices, learn about the various orientations that you'll need to do and check-ins that you need to do when you first arrive, and go over some of the important processes like paying tuition and course registration that you'll have to take care of. And, mhm. Sorry, just 1 second, everyone. Does it look better? Okay, sorry, I think a box is appearing on my screen, so hopefully that's taken care of. Can you guys hear me too? All right, I see people introducing themselves in the chat. That's wonderful. All right, we have Lydia from Greece, some from Nigeria, wonderful. Danae from Sri Lanka, great. And from Nadia from Pakistan, wonderful. We're so happy to have you guys with us today. Please continue to talk amongst yourselves in the chat. And so today we're going to be talking about Norfolk, Virginia. What is it like to live here and what is it like to be a student here? And so before we get started, to get you guys engaged, we have a little game that we want to play. We call it This or That. And so you should see reactions at the bottom of your screen that you're able to use. So if you are a beach person and you love going to the beach and being out in the sun and the sand all day, use a heart reaction. Or if you are a mountains person, you like to be in the mountains, higher elevation, it's cooler, the hills, use a thumbs up reaction. And let's see if we have mountain people or beach people. And panelists, you guys can do your reactions too. All right, we're seeing we got 3 hearts, 2 hearts. Oh, and 2 mountains. Okay, we're pretty tied so far in terms of beach versus mountain people. All right. Oh, some more mountains looks like they're winning. Okay. Well, the good news is you have access to both here in Norfolk. So if you are a beach person, we have the Chesapeake Bay, which has a big beach here in Norfolk, about 10 minutes north of campus. And Virginia Beach, of course, is about 25 minutes away, 30 minutes away. And then the mountains are only about a 3-hour drive by car from here. And the mountains of Western Virginia are beautiful. So Virginia is actually one of the only states in the country that has mountains and the beach and in both in the state. So that's really neat. All right, so our next one. Are you the type of person who you like old architecture, cobblestone streets, historic areas? If so, give me a heart reaction. Or if you're a person who likes modern, high rises, big tall buildings, glass, give me a thumbs up reaction. Let's see. Oh, all right, we're pretty evenly tied on this one too. All right. We seem to be pretty evenly tied. So, as you may have guessed, both of these pictures are from Norfolk. So we have both here. The picture on the left is from our historic Freemason district. It's one of the oldest parts of the city. You can see the streets are actually made of cobblestone, and there's old buildings there, historic homes. So it's one of my favorite parts of town. Again, it's about 10 minutes south of campus. And then the picture on the right is actually from downtown Norfolk. So we do also have some tall buildings, high rises, and some modern amenities here. And then lastly, do you prefer to get around by boat? Maybe you like cruises to go on cruise ships, or do you prefer to fly on an airplane, get me there faster? Which one is your preferred mode of travel? Give me a heart if you're a boat person or you like cruises, or a thumbs up if you prefer to get somewhere by plane. All right. Ooh, plane seems to be winning on this one. Okay. But we got a cruise person in there. Okay. Great. Well, you can actually take cruises from Norfolk here. So we actually have a port with deep water and cruise ships will dock here. And you'll see tourists sometimes walking around the downtown area. So we do have cruise ships that leave from Norfolk if that is what you like to do. We also have an international airport. So Norfolk International Airport is about 20 minutes away from campus. And so it's very accessible. Some of you will probably be flying into Norfolk Airport when you come, and so you'll be able to see it. It's still a smaller airport, which is nice. So you don't have huge long lines for security and immigration and that kind of thing. But it's convenient to have an international airport here in Norfolk. Okay, so thank you for participating in that. And now I have a short video that I'd like to play for you guys. Please let me know if you can hear the sound when I start playing it in the chat. Oop, that didn't work. Hold on.
Norfolk is distinct,
dynamic,
diverse,
vibrant,
unique, fun.
exciting.
Norfolk is alive.
Great people,
Down to earth.
A great place to shop.
great hotels.
It's a great place to see a ball game. A great waterfront destination.
Norfolk is a great place to live, work, and play.
Norfolk is home.
And there's no place like it.
Norfolk is one of those best kept secrets.
It's a modern city with a small town hospitality.
I've lived a lot of places, and Norfolk just got a big city feel to it, and that I like.
There are a lot of ways to get to Norfolk.
By rail, by plane, by car.
Got a lot of great walking trails.
Biking trails, running trails.
Everything is within walking distance from downtown.
We also have light rail and bus service.
The tide rail is a really great way to see so much of the city.
We are the heart of the Virginia waterfront. We have 5 bodies of water that meet literally outside our front door.
The largest naval base in the entire world is right here in Norfolk.
You have Nauticus, the home of the battleship Wisconsin, one of only 4 of the Iowa-class battleships, and you can go aboard that.
We have boat rides.
You have to travel on the Spirit of Norfolk at least once.
One thing about Norfolk that a lot of people don't realize is it has a lot of great beaches.
Beaches on all sides.
You can go fishing, you can take kids playing.
You can go paddleboarding, you can go sailing, swimming, kayaking even.
You got surfing.
Sunsets are amazing.
The list goes on and on.
Norfolk is the cultural hub of the Tidewater area.
You have the Opera House, you have a symphony.
We have theater life.
We've got the Chrysler Museum, we've got the Chrysler Hall, we've got the Norfolk Zoo.
People come from all over to see our zoo.
Beautiful Harbor Park in downtown Norfolk is where we play. Every seat is a great seat. You look out on the water. There's just not a better place to be entertained in the area.
The Chrysler Museum has everything from ancient art to contemporary art. It has one of the top 3 collections in the nation for glass. The Hermitage Museum and the Botanical Gardens.
The Botanical Gardens is a great place to unwind. You're right along the waterfront.
The Aztecs Theater is a historical landmark in Norfolk. It is the oldest remaining theater in the entire country, financed, designed, constructed, and operated by African Americans.
And you've got a lot of history here in Norfolk. It's a 300-year-old city.
It's really a distinct city with ties back to the actual founding of the first colony here in 1607.
St. Paul's Church right up the street that's still got a cannonball from the war.
One of my favorite parts is Freemason neighborhood along the waterfront. The cobblestone streets were actually stones used in the ballast of ships.
We have the MacArthur Memorial, which is a wonderful museum.
Anywhere you look, Norfolk has great history.
Norfolk is a great place if you love to eat.
Got the Atlantic Ocean, the Chesapeake Bay, the Elizabeth River, the Lafayette River, and the Intercoastal Waterway that all come together about 200 yards away from us right now. So you're going to get a lot of great seafood.
Another thing on the must-do list is to go to Dumars. It's a landmark in Norfolk.
You've got artisan chefs who showcase local suppliers and farmers and winemakers, and then you've got a great international scene as well. Norfolk's a fantastic place to visit.
But can come get an experience that you haven't had.
All right, so I know that video was a bit long, but I thought it had some good information, and so I wanted to share it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick and then reshare, because I think that that will solve some of these issues that I've been having. So I apologize for the technical issues today. Okay, here we are. So as the video mentioned, we're surrounded by water and beaches. We have 144 miles of shoreline, and we're on several rivers and ports. We have the largest naval base in the world also. So you may have seen in the video this battleship here, Wisconsin, which is always parked there, I guess you can call it, and you're allowed to tour it. You can go onto the ship. At the holidays, they put up a bunch of lights, and it's a really pretty sight. It's all lit up. You can walk along it with all the lights, and it's a really neat thing to do. This down here in the right corner is Virginia Beach. Again, it's about 25 minutes away, and that's the actual ocean front, the beach there, and there's a boulevard to walk along, and shops and restaurants. Ocean View is in Norfolk, so this is on the Chesapeake Bay, and it's lined with beaches though. The fishing pier there is actually the longest fishing pier in America, which is really cool. So a lot of students will go up to the bay and go to the beaches there for the day because it's a little bit closer than Virginia Beach. Norfolk also has a ton of museums. All of these ones here on the slides are free museums. The Hermitage is an old house that's surrounded by gardens. It's on the water. It's beautiful. The Chrysler Museum is an art museum that has amazing art. There's a Matisse in there, a Degas. So if you're an art lover, this is a free museum. So we have some wonderful, wonderful museums and culture here in Norfolk. We also have the botanical gardens. So it's a large outdoor gardens. They also do a lot of lights here at the holidays. It's really magical to walk under the lights all lit up. I don't know if any of the students here on the call have done the gardens at Christmas time, but it's really neat. The art scene, as mentioned, there's several theaters here. This is the Opera House in the upper right-hand corner. So we do have an opera. We have the Wells Theater downtown, which is an old 1920s Art Deco theater. It's one of my favorite theaters, a lot of shows. So there's a lot of arts and that come through the area if you're interested in that. The Elizabeth River Trail is about 10 miles of trail that goes through downtown along the waterfront. It actually crosses through our campus as well. And so there's a lot of people out on the trail, walking their dogs or riding bikes or running. And then the mermaid is the symbol of Norfolk. We actually have over 100 mermaids here in Norfolk. And so it's a fun game sometimes to try to run around and find as many mermaids as you can. This is the Chinese pagoda that's along the Elizabeth River Trail, which is a really neat area. And then there are several international events that take place in Norfolk. So Harbor Fest is a festival that takes place every year. It's actually one of the largest firework displays along the East Coast. And they do a parade of sail where ships with their flags from other countries will go by. And then we do have a NATO headquarters here. So they do a parade of nations every year, and people will represent their different countries. And they do, during the parade, they'll have all the different country flags. So that's another fun thing that takes place in Norfolk. Here's just a map so you can kind of see some of the things we've been talking about. So again, here's our mascot, Big Blue. We call him the lion at the crown. So this is where Old Dominion University is. Downtown Norfolk is right along here. So this is the Chinese pagoda we talked about along the Elizabeth River Trail downtown. And this is about a 10-minute drive by car away from campus. Here's the airport over here, about 20 minutes away. And then up north, this is where the Ocean View Beach area is along the Chesapeake Bay. So this just kind of gives you, I like this little map because it's fun and it gives some visuals and you kind of get a sense of where things are. In terms of location, so we are in the mid-Atlantic of the East Coast, so we're about halfway up. We're sort of right here on this map between Raleigh and Washington, D.C. So we're about maybe 3.5 hours by car to Washington, D.C., which is the capital, of course, of the United States. So it's very easy to get to for a weekend getaway. You can see we're on par here with maybe southern Spain. We have a NATO headquarters here, and we're only about 1 hour from Colonial Williamsburg and, one of the oldest colonies, Jamestown, one of the oldest colonies in the United States. So there's a lot of history in the area as well, which is really neat if you're a history buff like I am. In terms of weather, we are considered a moderate climate because we're sort of in the middle of the country. So it generally doesn't get too hot in the summer or too cold in the winter. It's mostly sunny days, which is nice. We do get all 4 seasons. So this picture in the bottom left corner is from the fall when all the leaves change color and it's really pretty and you see reds and yellows. And then we do get some snow, normally maybe only about 6 inches per year. This is a video that I took actually myself from last February. This was my backyard, and we got about 10 inches of snow, but that's unusual for Norfolk. We don't normally get that much. But again, a pretty moderate climate. In terms of transportation, so we do generally rely on cars to get around, which that's pretty common in the United States. A lot of Americans own cars, but our downtown area is walkable, and of course, campus and right around campus is walkable. The city does have these electric scooters and bikes that you can rent to get around. So you'll see students zipping by on electric scooters all the time. So you can use that to get around as well. Campus, we do have something we call the Monarch Transit, which is a little bus that will take you around campus and the nearby area, and it's totally free to ride. You just have to show your student ID. And then the city or the area has something called Hampton Roads Transit, which will take you not just around Norfolk, but around Virginia Beach and the area. You do have to pay for that to ride that bus, but they do have a student discount that you can get. Norfolk is also connected to the Amtrak Railway. So that's our rail system that goes mostly mostly on the East Coast of the United States. That's very easy to get to DC or other cities along the East Coast. As mentioned, we have our international airport, and then we have this is a picture of the light rail actually that connects areas of our downtown. In terms of cost of living, we are about 5% below the national average. If you're looking for a one-bedroom apartment, rent can be around $1,000 to $1,500 per month. Again, it's going to depend on where exactly you're living. If you have roommates, of course, this price could be cheaper. And then groceries, sometimes an individual could spend about $300 to $400 on groceries. Again, this is going to differ by person. How you like to eat, how you like to cook, how much you cook at home, how much you eat out will all have an impact. But just wanted to give you a general idea. And if you were to go out to eat dinner at a fairly inexpensive restaurant, you could expect to pay about $18 for a meal. This is the little ferry that's outside of our downtown area that connects Norfolk and the city right across the water there, Portsmouth. So it's a cute little boat that you can take back and forth between the two cities. Okay, and now I'm going to turn it over to my student panelists to share their tips on Norfolk. So I have a few questions prepared that I'm going to ask, but also this is your chance to ask. So these are, international students, alumni, I should say, who came to live here and be a student here. And so they have good experience they can share with you. So please, if you have questions for them, put them into the Q&A at this time. But I'm going to go ahead and start. So whoever wants to speak first, just share, what is your favorite thing to do in Norfolk?
Okay, I'll go first, Haley. Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, however it is in the place that you are. I'm Roshni, and I worked at ODU under Visa and Immigration Service Advising as a graduate assistant, and also currently I'm working as a marketing assistant at Center for Career and Leadership Development. My favorite thing to do in Norfolk is I love personally sunsets, and we have Whitehurst Beach, which is like literally 5 minutes of walk from the university, and probably like 2 minutes of walk if you're in a dorm or someplace nearby to Whitehurst Beach. And honestly, I've just loved walking there, having a good walk in the evening and looking at the sunset just helps me so much. So that's something that I love to do. And something else that I've tried recently is the Elizabeth River Trail, which goes right across the ODU, and then you can go all the way however long you want. And I did cycling through that trail, and I loved it. So you can also see so many things and how pretty it is when you're going through trees and everything, and it's really refreshing. So yeah, those are the top two things that I love to do at Norfolk, especially, which are in reach for me. Yeah.
I guess I can go next. Again, it's me, Mahfouda. Um, One thing I think I like to do, I like coffee shops. So I'm a coffee shop girl. So I love going to coffee shops. There are a lot of nice coffee shops around. So I usually either go with my friends or just go on my own. But I do love just like being in a coffee shop. That's just like my thing. I love. Sometimes I go to study when I was in school, obviously. So if I have an assignment, I have something to do, I'll be just like grab my things. And the good thing is we do have like nice coffee shops right on the campus ish next to the campus. So if you do love going to coffee shops, there's few that are really nice that are just right on campus. So you could just go there. So my favorite on campus is Borgia, obviously. I think everyone likes it. I don't know, but I do. I love it. It's been like my favorite spot on campus. We do have Finnair as well, so if you do want to go too, so that's also There are a lot of coffee shops on downtown too. A lot of places in downtown that you could go to, on the 21st Street as well. In fact, there's like a new place that just opened in downtown, no, in the 21st Street. And 21st Street is very close to campus as well. I mean, you could bike there if you have a bike and like biking. It's very close. You could technically walk-ish if you really love walking. It is. You could. I've done it one time, so it's nice. The other thing that I like to do, that is fun on campus is the walk too. So it's really nice that there are a lot of places that you could just do a walk on if you just want to walk to relax or just like de-stress. There are a lot of places that you can walk around the campus, nearby the campus, and also further away. So there's a lot of like walkable distances and places that you could walk on and just relax and de-stress. I think I'll stick with these two things. There's a lot more things. We could probably talk about them later, but this is what comes to my mind right now. But yeah, there's a lot of fun things to do.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with Roshni and Mafuda. My name's Madeline. I'm a student from Canada. I just graduated this spring. And I will say that I love just being outside and being on the water in Norfolk. I'm also on the rowing team here, so I might be a little biased, but the Whitehurst Beach is a beautiful spot on campus to watch sunsets. So I love doing that with my roommates after dinner. And then as it was mentioned, there's also something called the Elizabeth River Trail, which follows along like Norfolk's waterfront. So it goes through campus and then to downtown. And I really like running and biking and being outside. So that's always just a really nice treat to be able to do too. So
Thanks for sharing. And now, if you wouldn't mind sharing, what surprised you most about Norfolk, or what were you not expecting about living here, if there was anything? Whoever wants to go.
I guess I can go. Well, people are very friendly. Not that I didn't expect them to be, but they really are very friendly and approachable. So people are very kind and friendly here. So you'll see that when you come here. So that's a really nice thing. Um, I think it's also that I might have expected that Norfolk is kind of a small city, small town, but it's actually like there's a lot of things that you could do that are really fun, that are like really, you would probably expect to do these things or see these things in like a bigger cities. So like when you go to downtown Norfolk, it's really amazing. It's really nice. And there's a lot of nice restaurants, there's a lot of nice coffee shops, there's like a lot of nice fancy places to go to. So I think that's one thing that kind of, yeah, I expected it to be a little bit more of a small town, but it wasn't. It has a big city life too. Um, in North downtown Norfolk is really nice at night as well. I lived in downtown for some time, so it's beautiful at night. It's very lively, it's very busy, very active. So I think that kind of was a little bit of pleasant and nice. It's
yeah, I was thinking the same as well. I didn't know a lot about like Norfolk or Virginia before coming here either, but I was like very pleasantly surprised how welcoming everyone was. Um, and yeah, how I feel like I see a lot of the same people around campus, or I'll have multiple classes with them, and it's just really nice to like smile and like wave when you're like walking by too. So ODU definitely is like a fairly like bigger school, but it's nice that you can like still build connections and feel like really close with everyone that's here.
So for me, something that was surprising was like I mentioned earlier, the Whitehurst Beach being really, really nearby. And something that I heard from my friends was you can see some dolphins. And I was lucky enough to see, which I was not actually expecting. So, guys, if you're lucky enough, you might see some. So keep going to Whitehurst Beach after your dinner. And something that was really surprising for me was how big the university actually is. Like once you're here and you're taking a walk and everything, honestly, I it takes me forever to walk all around. And if you're a person who likes to walk and everything, you just don't have to go to the gym. You can just do it outside, honestly. So that's how big it is. And take your time, don't rush it. Take your time and do it on your own. So there's so much resources on the university, and honestly, not everyone can get to it at the point that they want, but I would personally say that I took my time and I wanted to learn it on my own, so I did it that way. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Those are some good tips. And that reminded me, Mafuta, when you said you were surprised at how friendly people were, that reminded me that, Virginia, I think some people are surprised on that Virginia is considered the South in the United States because we are sort of right on the edge there, about halfway up. But we are considered the South. And in general, the Southerners in the US are considered a little bit more friendly, than people up north, like will smile at you and say, how are you? And things like that, which you might not experience in the northern part of the United States. So, thank you guys for sharing your tips on that. There was a question that came into the Q&A about basically transportation, how to get around, which we already did talk about your transportation options within the state and the city, but I wanted to ask you guys sort of your tips on getting around Norfolk. How do you guys mostly get around? Do you walk? Did you have a car while you were here? Did you ever rent those scooters? Did you take the bus? What exactly did you guys do when you were students here?
Yeah, I didn't have a car my first 3.5 years here, and now I do. But I would say I didn't really have any problems getting around my first 3 years without one. I did have a bike, which came in very handy if I needed to go somewhere a little further. But I would say the campus is very walkable, and everyone here was so sweet and always like my roommates and my friends were always offering me rides if I ever did need to go to an appointment or get something that wasn't available right on campus. So. Yeah, I think there's a lot of good options, and Norfolk is a very bikeable city as well. So,
I'd say the same thing. Sorry. I'd say the same thing. It depends on, I guess, how your needs. So if you just want to go to the campus, go to places that are nearby, you could, like, that's, you probably won't need a car. There is the bus, which is not, I, yeah, you could take that bus, I guess, to a lot of places. Car is very helpful, to be honest. If you need to go around, have a little bit more flexibility, a car would be very, very helpful. But like Madeline was saying, people are very kind. So they would offer you rides, they will take you places, they will help you most of the time. But if you want that flexibility, a car would be helpful.
Something that was really helpful for me was the Monarch Transit that we have on ODU, and it does routes to 21st Street, where you have so many sources like the grocery store. And if I need something quick, as a bread or a butter or something like that, I can just go with the transit and I can do that. And being an international student, you also need access to uh, the international groceries also. So we do have the Monarch Transit does the route, if I'm not wrong, every month, first Sunday, if I'm not wrong. But please check that up. And those are the two things that really help me with respect to the international grocery shopping and also the normal grocery shopping. But if I would want to go in a specific direction, we also have Hampton Transit. um, uh, when I was a student, we did get a pass, which was like $50 for the whole year. So, I mean, it also gives you access to the ferry if you want to go on a ferry for free. So, I mean, I don't see a issue with that. So, it really helped me too. So, those are the two things that really helped me. So, yeah.
All right, great. Thank you. And Roshni, you actually touched on another question that came in, like how easy is it to find international grocery stores or maybe specifically African grocery stores? I do know, as you mentioned, the Monarch Transit does have a route. It might only be once a month or twice a month, but it does go to 3 international grocery stores in the area. I do think there is an African grocery store. It's not on that route, but I think there is one in Norfolk. Do you guys know, or um, did you ever visit? I know, Roshni, you said you mentioned you did. Did you guys, Mafuta or Madeline, ever go to an international grocery store while you were here?
I have not, no, but I know of other people that have, so.
I have, but I went to like a Middle Eastern international stores. I do know that there is an African uh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I've seen
store.
one.
Yes, but I'm not quite sure where was it. I'm sure there's like a couple. Definitely in Virginia Beach, but in
Mm-hmm.
Norfolk also, I think there is at least one or two. Um, yeah, but I'm not
Okay.
quite certain where.
Okay, great. We'll take one more question from the Q&A and then move forward because we're gonna have more time to ask questions later too. But before we move on, we have a question from Lydia about what is the nightlife like in the city, or is there like a rush hour in Norfolk? So what did you guys do? Did you ever go out at night? Mafuta, you mentioned you live downtown and there was always stuff going on downtown at night, but you know, what happens at night here in Norfolk?
Okay, Mafuda, I let Mafuda talk, honestly.
Okay, so at least in downtown, so well, for me, I guess people are different. But when I lived in downtown, so there's a lot of like places that are open, like restaurant, there are nightclubs, there are like we have the museum, not the museum, sorry, the movie theaters. Uh and so for me, I think what I usually used to do when I would live downtown is that I just go for a walk. I lived really close, so I just go for a walk at night and just like see people walking by and just going to coffee shop, going to places, going to restaurants, nightclubs, and just so probably I didn't do much, but I just would watch the people around. But there's a lot of nice, if you like, I don't know, like clubs or music places. There's a lot of them that are active at night in downtown. Also, again, I said restaurant, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Also in this like I don't know around the uh holidays, it's beautiful downtown because there's also a lot of uh the lights, decorations, and things. So it's beautiful to just drive by, just walk by. It looks very beautiful at night, actually, during the seasons, during the holidays time. Um, on the holidays time as well, we have the bottle ship thing. They usually decorate it very beautifully in Christmas time. It's very beautiful. It's just definitely worth checking out if you are here around that time because it's just so nice. Um, yeah, so I guess it depends on what type of night things that you like to do. I'm not really into nightclubs and things, so I probably wouldn't know much about that, but I do know that there's a lot of like, I guess, stuff you could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with Mafuta as well. I don't go out a lot, so I can't speak to that a lot, but there are like bars and other things to do downtown and closer to campus as well. And then there's still lots of things that are open, like the movie theater. And one of my favorite coffee shops is actually open till 10 p.m. as well. So that's always nice. They have like jazz music there live sometimes, which is really fun. So yeah, I would say there's lots to do no matter what you're interested in doing.
Ooh, I need to know where that coffee shop is that has jazz music.
Oh,
I love
Cafe Stella in Ghent.
that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I would just say like my husband and I, we like to go out to dinner. There's always like a fun new restaurant to try and like go to the theater. I forgot to mention with the theater, ODU actually does something where they called it just like pay what you can afford, and then the theater department will take you to dinner and a show at one of the theaters. So that's like a fun thing to do. And in terms of a rush hour, is, more traffic around 5 p.m., the end of the day when people are leaving work. But if you're not trying to leave the city, so again, because there's so much water everywhere, to get out to leave Norfolk, you either have to go over a bridge or under a tunnel, and there can be big traffic jams there. But if you're staying within Norfolk, generally traffic's not too bad, like in terms of a rush hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a few more questions, but let me move on to just a few more things we're going to say, and then we're going to come back and do another student panel. So don't worry, keep thinking of your questions, put them in the Q&A. But I did just want to touch on, oh, I was going to do a poll. I forgot. I just want to touch on a few things about being a student on campus. And so campus life, which I see there is a question about student clubs, and so we'll address that. I did want to do a poll though really quickly just to see who we have in the room. So hopefully everyone can see this. There should be 3 questions. One is, what is your degree level going to be here at ODU? And the second one is, have you ever gone to school in the US before? Maybe you did an undergraduate degree here or high school, or an exchange program previously. And then have you ever visited ODU's campus before? I'm very curious to see if anyone's actually been to campus before we talk about it. So if you can, just quickly put your answer here in the chat. Looks like about half of you have participated. Oh, wait, a few more seconds. Last chance. All right, let's see. So here are the results if you'd like to look. So it looks like about a quarter of you are coming here to do an undergraduate degree, and about a quarter coming to your master's. And we have some exchange students in the room, very cool, which means you're coming for like 1 semester or 2 semesters. And then, wow, a lot of PhD students. And then some of you have gone to school in the US before. And then, wow, I'm surprised. I said, okay, great. Some people have even visited OD's campus. All right, fun. So thank you for doing that. Okay, so just I wanted to briefly touch on campus life, as a student, because of course you're coming to be a student. So that's going to be part of living in Norfolk. This is just an image of, this is our student center, the Web Center. And in front of it, this area is called Kaufman Mall. This is where a lot of events happen, outdoor activities and festivals. You can see the water back here. That's where that back there is where that beach is that they were talking about. And so if you want to quickly have your phone available and you want to do this QR code here on the right, it'll take you to a virtual tour of campus if you haven't been on campus yet. Or if you want to see some profiles of other students, you can do that QR code on the left. So this is inside the Student Center, the Web Center. It's a fun place to hang out. There's lots of, seating. You'll see students there at all times of the day, hanging out, reading, eating, sometimes sleeping. There's pool tables, activities to do, food, restaurants there. Is like a food hall. We had this store in there called the Monarch Way that actually sells student-made products. So these are student entrepreneurs who have started their own business and making their own items, and we sell them here in the Student Center, which is really cool. And we also have the office here for student engagement and traditions. And speaking of traditions, these are some of the fun things that we have at ODU. So we do Spirit Fridays, where we encourage people to wear, ODU gear. Homecoming is a whole week-long party, basically. Events that happen around campus, ends with a big football game, American style football on the weekend. This is Big Blue, again, our mascot, the lion who wears the crown. And it's good luck to rub his belly. If in the Web Center, there's a big statue of him. If you rub his belly, it's good luck. So there's some other things, but these are just some of the fun traditions that we have on campus. This webpage here, I highly recommend you go to it. It just tells you more about campus life. I'll put this link here in the chat so that you have it. But this is where you can see about student clubs and organizations. If you're interested in like the Greek life, like joining a fraternity or sorority, you can find out about that here. There's over 300 student organizations, so you're bound to find something that interests you. recommend joining, meeting some students. This is the link specifically to the student organization, the list of student orgs. I'll put them here in the chat. So I did see there was a question in the Q&A about there are some international student organizations. So there is just a broad one. I think it's called Global Friendship, and it connects like domestic students and international students. But there are also specific ones. Like we have an Indian Student Association, we have a Nigerian Student Association, we have a Persian Student Association. So there are other various affinity groups like that as well. We have a Filipino Student Association. So, there's those do exist. So I suggest looking through this list here to see what's available. All these pictures here on the slide are from actual events that took place on campus. So these are real pictures, of students doing things on campus. So there is something going on. We highly recommend that you find a student group that you're interested in, sign up, go to the early in the semesters when they're doing a lot of events and people are trying to meet people, go to those, or go ahead and reach out to them now. Sometimes like if they can help you find like a place to live or a roommate, or they're willing to pick you up from the airport. So I'd say go ahead and start reaching out to these people. Um, all right. And so now we're going to go back to our student panel for your tips on student life. So again, put in questions into the Q&A if you what you want to know about campus. But we'll get started here. I just want to ask you guys, how did you first meet people when you first arrived at ODU? How did you first meet people, or what are your tips for getting involved on campus?
Yeah, so I can go first. So when I came here, honestly, I really didn't knew anyone, and we had event called as Mint, which is Monarch International Network Transition, Newcomer Transition. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's been so long. So I blame the time and my memory. But yeah, being said that, so it is organized by Office of Intercultural Relations, and that's when I got to know many people. And I used to oftenly go there to just be around international people, getting to know their culture, and just if I feel bored, I used to just go there and be with them. And it's really a fun place to be there. And later in time, when I got to know much more about it, I was volunteering for the International Student Advisory Board, and later I was a president in that organization too. But being said that, I was also involved in Global Student Friendship Organization, which is mostly about most of the exchange students. You will be there just to get to know about what is a US culture, what is other people's culture, and everything. And it is a really good place to be, to get to know so many cultures and just to be there for each other. And the other one, since I was a computer science graduate, so I was also volunteering as an event manager and organizer for Computer Science Graduate Society. So those are the three organizations that I was in. But I also used to love to volunteer for any of the events that used to happen on campus. So, especially for Center for Career and Leadership Development, we have some of the stuff for Thanksgiving, and which is called as Thanksgiving Give Back and all of that, where you can go ahead and you can volunteer there. And there's so many things going on. You can just, even if you're interested in a specific club, you can just go ahead, talk to them. I know it's quite awkward to go ahead and talk, but like Mafuda said, Madeline said, and Haley said, everyone is really, really friendly. You can approach them, you can talk to them. They're more than like they're really nice, and they never make you feel like, no, I'm not gonna give you any information. But they're really welcoming, and they will give you so much information. And it's really good to be part of any clubs or organizations to get to know anything happening on campus, and being a part of it really helps you. So, yeah.
I guess I can
Yeah,
go.
I would say,
Sorry.
oh, you can go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, I would agree. I was part of the rowing team when I started, so that was nice. I didn't know anybody, but I did have like a built-in group from the beginning. But I would say it's really helpful to pick like one or two organizations you really want to be involved in and go to those events regularly. That's a really good way to build community early on and then have people to support you and build like lasting friendships that way.
Right. I would just echo you guys, and then I would say for me, I think how I got to meet people on campus and off campus as well was through okay, so when I first came here, I didn't actually come to Norfolk because I was Fulbright and I had a what do you call it, a pre-academic orientation somewhere else. So I was in Kansas, Lawrence, Kansas. So random, so middle of nowhere, but it's okay. So I was there for some time and then I came to Norfolk. So when I came to Norfolk, I obviously didn't know anyone here, but I was connected with the Global Friendship on Facebook. I don't remember exactly how did I connect with them, but I think I just somehow connected with them on Facebook. And then I was like, yeah, I'm an international student and I'm coming to campus this summer and I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Like I don't like I have no one. So like, they were very, very, very helpful. They were very kind and very helping. So they picked me up from the airport. I stayed on campus dorm for some time before I moved into my apartment. And so they picked me from the airport. They were very kind, very helpful, very helpful. And then I got to meet them and meet other people. They organize a lot of events on campus. So I do remember the first time someone took me to a fish night. And I was so excited for it. So I met someone through the global friendship, and then we kind of become friends because she was very sweet. Also, she's like an international student. She was like, "Okay, I'm gonna take you to this event. It's called Fish. It's so nice. You're gonna meet a lot of people. It's so fun." So I went there, and it was actually very fun. It was very nice. There was a lot. So you're gonna meet a lot of international students on those events. So at least for me, I was like, I met a lot of international students. The good thing is that they usually also connect you with like people from your country, culture-ish, people that you can connect with more. Not that you can't connect with other people, but just like people that you could share things with. So that was my introduction to the campus and the community on campus. Obviously, when I went to classes, I met my classmates and my other people, and I began to connect with other people. And then I started joining organizations also on campus. And I started to go to the good thing and the fun thing is about ODU campus is like there is always something going on. There's always events. There's like a lot of things going on. So I remember like when I was taking classes, I would just like be going around on campus and I was just like see something going on. Oh, there is an event. I would just like go there and be like, hey, there's something going on. There's student, there's free pizza, free food. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna go there. And then when you go there, it's very easy. People are very approachable. They're very kind and friendly. They would actually try to reach out to you first and talk to you first. They're like, hey, where are you from? And you just start a conversation. It's very easy and they're very, very, very approachable and friendly. So I would say go to events. There's a lot of events. Don't even like ask what is this about. Just go there and like be like, hey, um, join clubs and organizations definitely. So I joined the International Student Advisory Board. I think I was a member of the Mono Club. Um, I was a member of I don't remember. I was a member of a couple of organizations, but so that's definitely a really nice way to meet people. Join those clubs, those organizations, go to events, get free pizza, get free food, enjoy it. Uh, and it's also good for you when you like stressed out about classes. Just take a break and go for an event, talk to people, and come back. So yeah, I would say that at least that's what I did. So,
All right, great. Thank you guys. There was a question too about sports. I don't know if you meant about going to sports or playing sports, but like football games are a big thing. You know, American style football is big at on U.S. colleges and universities. And actually, ODU's football team is pretty good. So I don't know if you guys ever went to a game. I always have fun when I go to games. They're always on Saturdays, usually in the U.S. So those are always like a fun activity to do on Saturdays too, is going to the football game.
yeah, and you
Okay.
always get free tickets for football games a lot of the times as a student.
Yeah.
There's like organizations that give you a free ticket. You can just go for free and have fun. So definitely.
Exactly. All right, perfect. Well, thank you guys. Well, did want to just a few more things before we run out of time because we're almost at time. Some resources for you. So this first link here is we have admitted student guides. So if you're a graduate student, there's one and it tells you, step by step things that you can start doing now to prepare, like setting up your Midas ID, accessing your ODU email, things to do if you're an undergraduate student. And then there's an international student guide, which that's actually where we're going to be posting the recording of this. Is on the International Admitted Student Guide. But I'll send you guys an email after this so that you have it and you know exactly where to find the recording if you want to go back and watch anything. We also have a webpage on visa and travel information. So again, we're talking about visas next week, but if you want to start looking at some of this information, you can look here, and we have other pre-arrival resources on this webpage here. I'll put all these links in the chat so that you have them. I want to do our crown countdown tip of the week is to be checking your ODU email. So if you haven't set that up yet or you're not accessing it yet, please do. As soon as we admit you, we start sending information to your ODU email account. So it's important that you're already checking that email. So that's your tip of the week. And then I wanted to do our Future Monarch feature. So the first student that we're featuring is Muhammad Faisal Satar. I think he goes by Faisal. If you're here, feel free to, put some in the chat or give us a thumbs up or say hi. But he's going to be coming in the fall to do the electrical and computer engineering PhD program. He's from Pakistan, interested in entrepreneurship, volunteering, AI, which I think is interesting. Enjoys mentoring students on international scholarship applications. I bet a lot of students will hit you up for advice on that. And I thought this was funny. He said he once led a project called Check GPT that was checking Chat GPT's information to see if it was saying was correct. And so I thought that was pretty cool. He is looking for a roommate to live off campus. So if you're still looking for a roommate, for someone to live off campus and you're interested, here is his contact information, his email address or his Instagram if you want to reach out. Please do. Faisal, are you here? Are you on the call? Oh no. Okay. I can't actually see anybody. So, okay. But if you're interested, reach out. If you just want to get to know them, just to have a friend, even if not for a roommate, but just to know someone, reach out. If you want to be featured on our next Future Monarch feature, fill out this form. Here's the QR code. It was also at the bottom of that first email you received about the whole Crown Countdown series. The bottom of that first email was the link to fill out the form if you want to be featured on a webinar. All right, so are there any other questions before we sign off? I saw there's a question about internship and job opportunities, but we're going to be talking about employment at a future session, so I didn't want to talk about that here. Does anybody have any final questions for our international student alumni while we have them? Okay, well, so don't forget to join us on the 27th, which is next week, I think, for the visa process. If you haven't registered yet, here is the link to register. I am going to be emailing everybody after this. Again, I'll tell you where to find the recording. I do have a feedback survey if you wouldn't mind doing that. It's just 3 short questions. You can do it right now even. Here's a QR code just to help us know what to touch on for next time or what was helpful or what wasn't. And so that's it. We thank you for being here and hopefully we'll see you at a future session.